I think along the way you've had so many different teammates, but I think your teammates have also been extremely helpful with dealing with some of these things and going through the process with them. I mean, you've had a bunch of teammates that have represented Canadian senior teams, right? We've had Rob Hill, Tim Zhang, Raymond Domin. Like these are all guys that you've competed with, and then guys from other programs. We've had other guys in our team that have raced really high level nationally. So like you've gone through that process with a lot of them. So I know that that's been helpful as well to you, right?
100%. It's really hard because when we first started, you and I, we had one of our coaches on the team, Jason, in our group, and Jason was just like an amazing person. And moving forward, the amount of teammates we've had from that's like my one specific oldest teammate we've ever had, well, Mike Deering, but let's go Jason, and then now to our youngest teammate, Tito. Man, the amount of people that we've went through that have impacted like a smile or anything, everyone has memories. So I think teammates are really important in such an isolated sport.
Absolutely. Well, I thought about it, right? So when I got to CHENA, you were the youngest person in the group. And
Yep.
this year we've got Tito, who's the youngest guy in the group. So, and it's
Yep.
ironic. His name is James. We call him Tito, but he swims breaststroke. It's just really funny.
Yeah.
But I think about it because you were 13 when I met you, youngest guy in the group, turned 14 that season. And you're always the youngest guy, and now you're. I mean, we've got Nico, but you're the
Yeah.
second oldest guy in the group. But you've
Yeah.
gone from being the young guy to the older guy, the leader, and like you have someone in the group like Cosette who you coach for CHENA Skills,
Yeah. That's a
right?
weird one. That was weird.
Yeah, but I look at it, and your training mates this year are when we were on your first junior national team, that they weren't even swimming at CHENA,
Yeah.
right? When you started to put it into context, and you talked a lot about how your training group this year, for you, the group that you train with, and specifically your lane mates, are some of the it's been the best environment you've ever had, and you've got great mates over the years.
With this, so I got some crap from the guys because they said, "Oh, it's the best group you ever got," right? And it's like it is because of their specific speeds. The girls are perfect speed for what I need to be.
Mhm.
Um, and with the freestyle threshold, Tim has just been the most consistent he's been in since 2017 or whatever year that was. So I think this specific time was perfect for what we needed going into this year. But yeah, teammates have just been so important the whole way.
It's been really good. And the other thing I think, in fairness, I think one of the things you love is that Angelica, Isabella, Tina, these guys don't create the same waves that Rabin or Nico make,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
you're a Nancy boy. When it comes to
Yeah.
waves, you get pretty bent out of shape. You become a princess pretty quickly at that
Uh,
point.
yeah. Yeah. So it works having the girls, and honestly, it's nice to just have females in our group because it's
Yeah.
been male dominant our entire dynasty.
Yeah, it's been a long time, and it's nice to have that balance. And I found the balance really, really nice because as much as I love all the guys we've had over the years, too many guys can be somewhat like some of the years, man. I thought I needed some therapy to deal with you
Yeah.
guys. Um, Good God,
Yeah.
how many house meetings did we have to deal with behavior? It was you guys put me through the ring. I'm surprised I don't have a whole head of white hair. Like
I'm more
honestly,
surprised you're still working with me.
it's oh, there's some days, man, that I thought I was gonna break you.
Yeah.
And
Agreed.
and the best part is I always had permission from your parents if I needed to, so I knew I was
So
good there.
yeah, it wasn't even
Yeah.
child abuse at that point.
Um, so dude, I think about it. I think about this year. Like obviously, like how are you doing with trials being postponed and the Olympics being postponed? Like in all fairness, you're the most ready you've ever been. The work you
Yeah.
did this year, the stuff you're doing in the gym, just everything, your fitness, your strength, like we can say it now. We were ready to kind of go put on a show, obviously, but like
Yeah.
you're in phenomenal shape. And we talk about, yeah, maybe in 2016 at Summer Nats, you could do more races than you could do now. But for the job that you're preparing to do, you were ready to swim the races we had geared towards. And how
Yeah.
does it feel kind of, you know, you're looking at the next stage in life and after swimming, how does it feel like another year of training and getting ready for 2021 and all that? Like how you dealing with all that and processing it all?
It's hard because we're so insignificant to the situation.
Mhm.
But when it comes down to it, and I have to be really selfish, it's hard because we were ready to go. There was so many days that you could look back on, and you could just feel like, okay, that was that was a day that you need to be an Olympic champion. And it's nice because those days weren't super spread out. They were pretty consistent. And rather than a training cycle going like this, it was such a perfect year. And to go on to a point that we were talking about before, I wasn't ready to go fast last year because we were preparing to go fast this year. And with just where we were at, I would have loved to take Mike Brown down, but there's always room for improvement, and next year is just that much closer to being better. I would have been pretty close to his time, but it's going to be nice to be way under his time.
Well, that was the thing. Like I looked at it and it's like, okay, we're so ready. And
Yeah,
selfishly, I know this sounds horrible, but like I was like, if we could have just had 3 more weeks, just get us
exactly.
through
Yeah,
trials, at least get us the swim done. But I mean, that's being super selfish and not really realistic with the situation.
yeah,
But you're right. Like I know that the body of work we did, and I think I mentioned you a number of times, that this is the best programming I've done. This is the best like session and planning and everything that we did done training wise. And the group was humming, right? And I think
right.
we just saw some of our teammates who tapered for provincials like rip it out like 10-second best times and
Yeah,
just swimming really well.
it,
So
it
like,
it it would have been cool to see what our specific group would have done. And it's hard because tomorrow is a very special day for me. So it would have been really hard to just, it is going to be hard tomorrow, rather, looking at what could have happened.
I'm feeling that every day this week. Like I felt it on Monday and I thought
Yeah,
about the people every day. It's like the people who would be racing. Right.
right.
And I know like, and that's why I wanted to talk to you today. I think we're going to upload this video tomorrow, which will be April 2nd, which is going to be the day that
Second.
we had been planning for that day for quite some time.
Yeah,
But even on Monday, Matt, I was like, you know what? We were really curious how fast you'd go in the 100, even though we have
yeah,
done zero training for the 100 breaststroke whatsoever. But like, you're putting up 102s in work, and like the in work stuff you were putting up with honestly in work, you put up the best time you've ever put up in work, and the 100 we didn't train for, and you were still fast on that, right?
yeah. And
So like,
just, it would have been really cool. And to break a minute is just, I'd break a minute in all 4 strokes, first Canadian to ever do that. So I think that would be pretty cool. And when it will happen, it will. But man, oh man, I remember talking to you maybe 4 weeks ago, and we were doing our numberology, and it turned out that, what was it, March 30th and April 2nd were ones. So
yeah,
for those of you who don't know, Pat is a 1. And I mentioned that, nope, this is fate. Like, it's April 2nd for a reason. And looking back on it, I guess it is for a reason. The power that Mother Nature has over us to make us sit down and wait our turn, and it just is going to make that moment so much better when we go and really prove our program.
absolutely. I think yeah, it's the waiting's the hardest part, but I know that we'll be in better shape, better
Yep.
prepared. Like all
Yep.
the things will be better. Just we got to wait a little bit longer.
Yeah.
But
And with what we're doing now with the isolation, man, oh man, I know that my legs are my weakness, and it's really hard just even walking up the stairs because that's my specific deficiency. So I'm working the hell out of it, and just I the less I can lose, the more I'm going to gain, kind of thing.
absolutely. So what are some of the stuff you're doing to train then? What are the things you're doing to keep yourself fit and ready? Because this is our off season, right? The moment we get a chance to get back at it, we're back at it. And I mean that part's easy once we have water and we get back into the groove of things. But what are you doing to kind of keep yourself fit? You're at the lake, so if anybody doesn't know,
Yep.
you're back home at the lake, small town. So what are you doing to stay in shape? What's your plan?
Uh, my plan of right now, well, when we first came here, it was just a big, like, just, okay, Olympic trials is still happening. What do we need to do? So my sister and I bought a polar wetsuit so I can go out in the lake and kind of keep swimming, stay in the pool. Uh, but rather than that, for leg fitness, I'm trying to go for a bike ride. Uh, there's I can't really show you, but there's a road over there. It's kind of hilly and it just goes along the water. It's beautiful. It's about 15K there and back. So I try to do a bike ride and some skipping, but mainly what I'm doing are calf raises because I need stronger calves just for my push-offs. A lot of jumps, sand jumping, and just jump-oriented work. and then squats and cleans with just some weighted stuff. And rather than that, a lot of core. And my arms this year have really, really been my confidence. I try to do, for those of you who don't know, I try to do 2 chin-ups at 90 pounds, and that's really, really hard. So that was something that I was working to, and I almost made my goal. Fell a little short, but now I need my legs to catch up to where my arms are. And I think I will be ready to go whenever it comes September 1st, if that's how long we have to wait.
Absolutely. And do you have anything that you're, like you talked about your deficiencies in your legs, is there anything like taking this time and not having the water, like we always talk about that there's certain things that we don't normally have time to do, or it's hard to fit it all in. I remember watching the Connor McDavid documentary where he couldn't skate. He had to rehab his knee. So they started to address a lot of the other weaknesses that they normally wouldn't have time to do. Is there anything that you're looking at addressing other than your leg strength and fitness and stuff like that? Like, is there anything you want to work on personally, whether it be something mental or something physical, or just something that you have time right now? Is there something you've targeted that for yourself that you'd like to get better at?
I so there was this phrase last summer that was called like hot girl summer. I want to have a really nice appearance to myself this summer, and I want to look good. If I can't be in the pool, I want to look like I'm still a swimmer, and I don't want a big gut and look ugly. Like, I'm already not that pretty in the first place. I need to have something going on for me. So just being strong. I want to be really strong when it comes to next year, and really not let chance play a factor in it at all. I'm thankfully, in our sport, we're lucky enough to send 2 people to the Olympics, and I'm just going to be one of those 2.
Sounds good to me, man. All right, I'm gonna ask you one last question.
Let's hear it.
Right? If you had a message right now, if you wanted to say to anybody who's in the same boat as you, who was getting ready for the Olympic trials, getting ready for the games, and everything kind of got halted for them, or if you're just a young kid who loves to swim, who's coming up, like, do you have anything, any opinion of like, keep your chin up, whatever? Just what are your thoughts if you had a message to say to anybody who's kind of dealing with the same things that you're dealing with right now? What would you say? Sorry, I'm putting you on the spot a bit. But.
No. Just to smile and be happy. Like that. If you're not sick, if you're one of the lucky ones not to be sick, you just got to be happy that you're alive. And once you can look at yourself and smile in the mirror and truly be grateful for who you are, I think you can start growing into what you want to be in a human being. But without loving yourself and just being able to make yourself smile, you can't grow. And in the pool, I think a lot of my confidence have just come from being able to look at a random stranger on the street and smiling and knowing that I'm a good person.
I like it, man. You are a good person. I've been really fortunate that I've gotten. Thank you. It's been really nice getting to work with you over the last 10 years and getting to know you. And I always tell people, like, whenever I started with you, it's like I had this kid that I remember the phrase is like, I need to make you understand that you're not special.
Yeah.
So that you'll work hard enough to maybe one day have a special day.
Yeah.
And I was really on you. I was like, I don't know if you remember, but I was really hard on you at first. Like I almost like, cause you were a bit.
I don't remember, but I'm very grateful that you were.
Well, and I was, cause like you weren't lacking for confidence when I met you. And I think you had your tires pumped quite a bit. And I just wanted you to understand that you had the ability to do something really cool. And then over time, it went from like me being on you and coaching you, and then it kind of grew and it grew. And I'm happy to say that now we're friends, we're coworkers, we get to work together, and it's really kind of been an interesting evolution of our relationship. Now that you're a young man, and it's a privilege to get to work with you and spend this much time. I think most coaches and athletes don't spend this much time together.
We're really lucky to have the relationship we do. Thankfully, you're still willing to work with me, so I'm lucky to have someone that I trust.
Yeah.
In a time like now, you can't trust someone that you just started working with.
It's hard. It kind of grows, right? That working relationship has to grow, and you see it in that the more I get to know you and the more you get to know me, then it becomes really easy. And I think that a lot of new people to our group and new people to kind of the level of swimming that you're swimming at, I've had a few swimmers in our group comment about how interesting it is to hear us talk about a training session and you have feedback and how much you're an active participant in what you do. And I don't think people realize how much I always try to say I'm being gracious to myself by saying I'm 50% of your coaching, because I think you're 50 to 60% of your own coaching. Like that's how it's morphed, right?
And the fact that you and I have the relationship that we can work together, and also you and Tim, you guys work a lot of specific stuff in with him, but like we really fine tune this 200 breaststroke, and we both know what we need to do to be dominant.
It was fun this year focusing on one event. I will say we've
Yeah, oh
never done
yeah,
that. For
yeah,
anybody who doesn't know, James and I working together, we have always focused on like 200 IM, 200 breast, 100 breast, multis, like full on programming. And this year it was exclusively 200 breaststroke. And I got to say, it was so much fun being
it
able
was
to singularly
phenomenal.
focus on one event.
And there's one day that sticks out in my mind where it's like, okay, that was the best 200 breaststroke practice I've ever had. But like just having it every day was just such a breath of fresh air. Even when we would do threshold work, it was still for 200 breaststroke, and it just makes it easier to wrap your head around it.
Well, I remember it was the comment, and I'll throw a little shit out because I think it was Tom Russian in Austin said, Patrick, I don't understand. Like, if James is only really good at one event, 200 breaststroke, like, why is it bad to be world class in one thing? And I
Yeah,
just, so there's nothing wrong with that, right? It's like,
there's
no,
yeah,
like it's great if you can be Michael Phelps and be the best in the world and win 8 gold medals, and that's super awesome. But there's a reason there's only one Michael Phelps.
yeah,
You know what
exactly.
I
And
mean?
no one's ever been close.
Yeah, and that would be my advice to anybody, like to follow what you do, like accept what you're great at, be great at that, um, and be really proud of who you are and accept who you are as an athlete and work towards it. And I think the best thing that we have going for us right now is we both have the same mindset that I want to find whatever my ceiling is and see if I can bump it up a little bit higher, but I want to put everything into it. And when I'm done, I'm done. I can walk away and say I gave everything I had and feel really good about it.
And especially like we're at the end of the road now. Like there's not many turns left on this bad boy. Let's do it properly and just end with a bang, because it's really time to finish this project off that we have done.
Absolutely. I actually, one thing that I will say selfishly, man, I get another season because I thought we were done at
Yeah.
the end of this year. So like selfishly, I get to go a little bit more. And I'll tell you what, I'll end this with one last thing. One last quote is that there's a wise man who I know you love dearly said, I don't care. This is what he said to me. You were 13 years old, and I remember your dad saying to me, he's like, I don't care if James ever makes an Olympic team. Of course, I want him to make it, but I want him to look back on his career and say, what a hell of a ride. And I enjoyed every minute of that ride, the good, the bad, and everything in between. And I would say we're probably there right now. And
Yep.
another year and a half of it, it's not going to change that. So I don't know. I think your dad hit the nail on the head when he said that to me almost 10 years ago.
And it's just time. And I would love to spend another year with you. I've had other coworkers, they all suck. People suck so bad. And I'm just,
Yeah.
I understand the part you play in my life, and just even going forwards with finding new coworkers and bosses. You're pretty special. And man, oh man, I've had some just bad bosses. So it's a unique relationship to even have another year with you.
Well, I appreciate it, man. I'm looking forward to having more time with you, and I can't wait to get going again. But yeah, I appreciate you taking the time to kind of do this. And I know it's not easy for people to put themselves out there and tell their story, but I wanted you to share your story because I don't think a lot of people know what you've gone through or what your story is. They see a guy who shows up at trials all, ready to go and puts up a great swim, but you're more than a fast 200 breaststroke, right? There's more depth to you. And I think just sharing our story, if more people do it, and I hope more people will get up and share their stories, and I hope to share more stories, but thanks for doing this, man. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, and just adding on to that point, I'm really excited for who you have coming next. I think this is a really important conversation to be having right now in our time. So just keep it up, and I can't wait to hear what other athletes have.
Awesome, man. Well, I'm looking forward to it too. This is new for me. I'll get better as I go, but ironically enough, being the person who hates being online and hates social media like I do, it's life's ironies, right?
Yeah,
Um, what else are we gonna do from our condo?
yeah,
All right, dude. Well,
literally.
thank you so much. Stay healthy, stay safe, take care of you and your family. And I know we'll be in touch again soon.
Yes, yes, of course. Thank you for having me today. It was a pleasure, and I look forward to hearing your next episode.
Awesome, cool. Take care, man.
See you, Pat. Thank you.